Hello citizens and welcome back. So it has been revealed that Erling Haaland does indeed have a release clause in his contract for 2024. That clause means that if a club outside of the UK comes in and bids 200 million euros for him, he can leave if he chooses to. Now I just want to go through a couple of points on my opinions on it. So before I do, make sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe if you're new, and let's dive in. So Erling Haaland does have a release clause in his contract. Now it's not to any specific club such as Real Madrid, which what the rumours were, but it's a clause that means that if a club outside of the UK bids 200 million euros on him, he can leave if he decides to. Now, first off, I don't think that's a really bad clause. I think it's a decent one for the club and for him too. Now, of course, for us, we paid less than 70, 80 euros for him. So for him to leave after 2 years for 200 million, that's an incredible deal. That's phenomenal for me. That's a lot of money for the club. It would generate a lot. It helped us rebuild in a few positions. So I don't think the club have done anything bad there with that clause. I think it's a good deal for them, and it would be one of the biggest transfer deals in football history. So no problems for me. And like I said, that's a 2-year profit. That's a lot of money. Now for Haaland, if he wants to leave at that time and a club does bid that much, he can choose to. And of course, he's got every right. But also, City are not really one of those clubs to keep a player against their will anyway. So, we've seen it with Leroy Sané, we saw it with Sterling, Jesus. If a player wants to leave, we will let them go. And in fact, Bernardo Silva almost left us in the summer. Bernardo Silva called it a heart-to-heart with the club where he outlined his goals. We gave him ours, and we said, right, you can leave for Barcelona if they bid a fair price. And that's what City do. City are always asking for a fair price. We don't ask for extortionate amounts of money for these players. Look at Jesus. We could have got more for Jesus. We could have got more for Sterling. They're in their prime. But we don't do that. We just let players leave if we feel we're getting a good deal on it or a fair deal that reflects what we feel we deserve. Now, with Bernardo Silva, Barcelona didn't make that deal, didn't offer the price or make any deal whatsoever, so we kept Bernardo. And, we didn't want him to leave, the club didn't want him to leave, but of course we acknowledge the fact that if he wants to, he's unhappy here, let him go. And the same goes for Haaland. If he wants to leave in 2 years' time, he can leave. And the club have set that 200 million euros, they feel that's a fair price. So let him go. And I don't think the club have done anything wrong there. I don't think Haaland has done anything wrong there by wanting that in his contract. So I think for both parties, I think it's fantastic. I really do. I think it's a good deal. Now, the other point I want to make is that a lot of people are saying, well, 2024, he's leaving, then he leaves in 2 years. Not necessarily. Again, Haaland can turn that down if he wants to. If the bid comes in and Haaland says, I don't want to leave, then he's not going to leave, is he? He doesn't have to do that. And you look around Europe and you look at the teams that can possibly afford him. I don't think anyone in Germany can. I don't think Bayern Munich can afford him. I don't think anyone in Italy can afford that. I don't think Barcelona could. I only think Real Madrid and PSG can afford them prices. Now, I don't think he would go to PSG. I really don't. We've seen it over the last few years, PSG getting these superstars, Neymar, Messi. They've just renewed Mbappe's contract. But I don't think he'd go PSG. Not when because in 2 years' time, he's going to be 24. He hasn't even reached his peak yet. So why would he go to France already? I don't think he would. I think he'd only go to Real Madrid. That being said, can they afford 200 million euros? I think to do so, they'd have to offload a few players next summer and prepare a year for him. They could do it. They may do it. But, that's something down the line. But right now, I don't think they could afford 200 million euros. I don't. And if you look at Haaland specifically, and again, I've just mentioned that City don't let players let players leave if they're unhappy. We don't keep them against their will. We don't force them to finish out their contract. Haaland, for me, he looks very, very happy at City. Of course, he's a City fan. That massively helps. He's got all the fans behind him. You can see him after every single game. You might not see it on TV, but if you go to the ground, you will see that he does like a lap of honour after every single game, clapping the fans, waving to them and all that. He's usually the last one off the pitch, regardless of the scoreline. And I think that says a lot about him. It says a lot about his character, and it says a lot about the affection he has for the club and for the fans as well. And you look at all the pictures, the videos of him in training, in interviews. He looks extremely happy in this team. And why wouldn't he be? As a striker, this is probably the best team to be in right now. You know, we're one of the most creative teams in the world. We're one of the most attacking teams in the world. And we score goals for fun. So why would he not want to be in this team right now as the striker? In 2 years' time, that could change. But if Pep renews his contract, which I think he probably will, which will be a nice surprise, to be honest with you, because I didn't think he'd stay for this long. But if Pep renews his contract and we're still playing the kind of football we are, I think he'd stay. I think he'd turn anyone down in 2 years' time. Like I said, he's only going to be 24. He's got a lot of years ahead of him still, and he's still not reached his peak. So there's that. You know, you can't overestimate the fact that a player can say no to leaving the club if he wants to. Because I don't think City are going to want to offload him then. And that's just my opinion, of course. But he does look extremely happy. He looks content. He's scoring goals for fun. If that continues, why go anywhere else? You know, and if we're winning trophies as well, you know, and he's getting records still. He's breaking Premier League records. He's breaking Champions League records. Why would he not stay? It's the best place to be. I think it'd be daft for him to leave. So yeah, it's up to him, isn't it? And that's it, really. Like I said, he's got a €200 million release clause in his contract. People are making a big deal out of it. People are saying, oh, he's only in the Premier League for 2 years then. Not necessarily. Like I said, it's his decision. If a club comes in and actually bids that amount, which right now, I can only see 2 clubs doing it. And one of them, I'm pretty confident he'd turn down on the spot. Will he want to leave? I'm not so sure. We'll have to see, won't we? And that's the video. Make sure to hit the like button, hit subscribe, of course, as always. Thank you for watching. And yeah, it's Liverpool this weekend. It's going to be an exciting one, isn't it? And Haaland has been rested for that game. He didn't play against Copenhagen, of course. So yeah, nice, fit, rested Haaland. That is a scary thought. So keep up to date with the channel, because we're going to do a match preview in a couple of days. And of course, we're going to do a watch along for the Liverpool game. So make sure to join me for that as well. Thank you very much for watching. As always, have a great day.